Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.
There's complete lockdown. People are not moving out. Not a lot more happening there. But yeah, we are working on multiple other things related to knowledge management, related to how we can recover better.
Uber is on the surge right now. Uber is expanding its fleet. Uber is expanding its services. It's getting into the bike taxi segment of it. How does it feel to work there and then be part of this expansion of this global entity that it's come out as?
So Uber is a company which stays focused on multiple objectives. Growth is one of them, and it's very exciting to be part of the journey, specifically in terms of like when you have a goal in mind, when you brainstorm it with so many people, and when you actually see a lot of things getting implemented on ground, from operations to product to multiple marketing campaigns, etc., going live. And when you see your kins, your friends, your family, and lot more other people using a company, a commodity which you are a part of,
Right.
makes you really proud.
You see your product being used by a lot of people. A lot of times what happens is we work on something where we don't get that like the feedback that we always thrive for. Does that happen with you guys also?
So while I am part of the organization and very grateful for it, but I am also a very avid user, and I was before I joined the organization as well.
Right.
So I really love that now I can also, give feedback, and I also know some methods wherein it can reach the right people. And Uber as an organization has a very structured feedback collection, and they continually work on their product. They build globally, live locally. So while like most of the other ride-hailing apps and people in mobility space who work in a certain geography, Uber works across the globe, and that's why their product is very different, because they build a lot of things which you may not directly experience through the user interface, but there's a lot going in the back end as well.
That brings me to your role. Tell us a little bit about what Mayank actually is responsible in Uber. What does he do on a day-to-day basis?
So actually my role entails into multiple things. I take care of supply for low-cost products for India, South Asia. By South Asia, I mean Sri Lanka and Bangladesh as well.
Right.
And by low-cost products, I mean the two-wheeler and the three-wheeler product that we are running. So primarily, I take care of auto, and I help in program managing multiple things for moto as well. And now, so my responsibilities are, one is acquisition. I primarily help in getting new supply on the platform. That means engaging with drivers, engaging with vehicle, and in turn engaging with the entire ecosystem to get more drivers, more supply on the platform, making it more reliable. So, while you don't have to wait for an auto like 1 minute, 2 minutes, I want to reduce it as much as possible, engage as much as community as possible, number one. Number two, I also oversee the entire life cycle or the journey of the drivers on the platform. So how they drive, what's their pattern, where do they drop off, how we can assist them. The third piece is a lot more strategic partnerships, which we enter with multiple people who not only help acquisition, but also help the driver community.
What are the major challenges that you face in doing these acquisitions when it comes to the human resource that you guys pull in? How do you actually make them realize that this is the product and this is how you are going to be benefited?
So there is a lot of efforts that go into it. Number one, when we acquire a driver partner, then there is by acquisition, I mean when he signs up on the Uber platform, there are training modules which were physical. Now they are being moved completely online because of the current situation, that he gets acquainted with basics of how to drive on a platform, number one. Number two, he gets acquainted with how he can earn more on our platform. What are the basic safety guardrails? What are the basic quality guardrails? Then there we reach out to driver partners both locally and as well as at a regional level. So there are campaigns which are much more structured, which our marketing teams and comms team run, which may be around brand building, awareness building about Uber, knowing about multiple programs like this Ayushman Bharat thing happened. So we wanted more and more driver partners to become part of it. So which is run at a regional level, and then there are city teams based out of cities who reach out to driver partners in their own fashion. The challenges of acquisition are that India remains a market which is very heavily assisted onboarding driven market. So unlike Europe, unlike America, where the literacy rates are much higher, people are much more tech savvy, they can themselves understand and download and upload documents. The internet penetration is much higher. The quality of device, mobile phones are much higher. So that's a challenge we face in India. That's why we have to maintain channels which are driven a lot by people to help make driver partners understand and help them get onboarded.
With Uber Auto, Uber is trying to penetrate more into the segment where its presence is limited right now. I'm talking about the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and the expansion is definitely on the cards. What are the kind of challenges you face personally?
While there is a lot of potential, but still compared to the markets that we operate in, these markets offer limited scale.
Right.
And sometimes there is a cap on supply, there is not that much supply available. So it is not a more about going there and making a category to move on the platform. It's about category creation. How do you really bring ride hailing more into it? So that's how it is. The business models, the operation models have to be very different for those kind of cities.
So from the supply chain and operations perspective, supply chain forms a very important factor in the kind of a company that you work in. And in terms of all the ride hailing apps that are there, or maybe food delivery apps that are there. In terms of the supply chain and the operations, how different things would be according to you once the lockdown is over?
A lot more newer business models that will emerge. Remotely working is just a part of it, right? And there will be a lot more things, lot more changes that how people really operate and do business when these things open up. Second, I think there will be a lot more focus on safety and personal hygiene because while the pandemic hopefully wavers off early, but there will be fear and in people's head around including myself, like I'll be a little more conscious when I step out, I'll be a little more conscious when I do things. So in my personal opinion, people will value safety and hygiene a lot more. Thirdly, I think when the supply chain opens up, they will try to make it more flexible and more variable rather than more cost efficient.
Right.
Because one has to realize that so there is a trade-off between flexibility and effective and efficiency, and there will be a trade-off where we'll move more towards flexibility, which prepares us for these kind of events.
So on a personal level, as a person who is responsible for the operations and growth of the company, what are the kind of challenges that you are facing in this lockdown?
I personally do not feel that I had a lot of challenges. Yeah, right. For me, the role I am responsible for, which is supply acquisition, because there's complete lockdown, people are not moving out, not a lot more happening there. But yeah, we are working on multiple other things related to knowledge management, related to how we can recover better, related to how we can make ourselves better prepared for these kind of situations, etc. And that's how we are devoting our time and energy. We have partnered with multiple players who are into essential services, who supply day-to-day items for the life to continue. And we are trying to help them in these times where they are also facing shortage of vehicles, shortage of people, and we're trying to kind of club it with our driver partners.
What are the things that Mayank is planning for the future now? What are the kind of ideas, if you want to share with us, that this is what you are looking at for the future, keeping in mind the kind of times that we are in, or the kind of times that we might just head on to.
Someone who wants to enter into supply chain, it's very important to one is develop your analytical abilities, that you should be able to surf through a lot of data, make sense out of it, and see how you can use it to your advantage. Secondly, I think it's very important to understand what kind of supply chain models exist for various kind of business models and how they complement each other. Thirdly, I feel one has to really very deeply understand and know the role of technology in supply chain. And fourth is around people management. So while tech always stays the on-ground ops, the delivery ops, there are multiple things which still have a lot of way to go, and it is still managed by people. And in the field of consumer tech, and I am a firm believer that ops and technology together can really change the way how people live, how people do certain things, and create a lot more impact, and keeps on giving me the kick I need. So for my future, I want to stay in consumer tech and keep on leveraging technology to solve the more trivial or essential problems for us.
So on that note, Mayank, thank you very much for your time, and I hope very soon you can book that Uber again, and then you can go to that office just like all of us. We also want to get back to the daily routine. Thank you for being part of Conversations in Quarantine.